And trans woman erasure is very real because you're participating in it right now.
It's Blossom again. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to do a reaction on this new Jubilee debate with Blossom, our favorite person of the world, on the government stance in trans issues. So, as you know, I'm so tired of everyone having their opinions about trans stuff. This should not even be in a political space, but here we are, and it's because of people like Blossom. And the last person I reacted to, Shane, who, by the way, they're best friends, and you can literally see the way they speak about things, and their energy is so out of control. So with that, thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all of that. And let's move forward on this. So I have this queued up right here, and let's start with this first part. This is always so hard for me because Blossom is so horrible. The energy this person gives, and I've debated is up for debate. And then Blossom went on to lie about me as calling me a racist and all kinds of stuff, and then backtracked on that, and then totally lied about the debate. And so I just want you to understand the history of this person. They're a liar, they're a grifter. I have no idea why Jubilee keeps bringing them on. It's really made me think differently about this program. I don't think that they have integrity. I think early on they might have had a little, but I think they've lost their way, and they just now do this for likes and not necessarily to actually bring real conversation to the table. So this person also tried to tear apart Blair, my very great friend, but couldn't do that. You can't tear apart Blair.
All right, and then quiet. We want this debate to focus on what you think the government stance should be, and ultimately we're going to be trying to approach a middle ground that you both agree on. If you want to share your personal experiences, go ahead.
I know you just said it's a government thing. Personally, however, I feel that transgenderism is more of a personal issue and a philosophical debate more than a political debate.
Fast forwarding to Blossom.
An example, but I think the government should not be allowing kids to run away from their homes, tell their teacher to call them a different name, refer to them as a different gender, and not even let the parents know about it. I don't have any hate in my heart. I think I get along with all kinds of people, and I respect people's opinions, and all I ask is I get the same grace back.
Absolutely, I have no problem with that. First of all, no disrespect, I don't entertain a mental illness conversation because it's too low vibrational for me. So I want to talk about kids, okay? So when we talk about trans kids, let's be very clear. Kids are not having surgeries. You have to be a particular age. Respect.
Lies, right there, lies. Kids are having surgery, Blossom. Also, they just checked you in the facts. You got checked. Snap, snap. What's with all the snapping? So there you go. You got checked. And yes, they are, because I've interviewed them. And there are 13-year-old girls getting top surgeries, Blossom. So I don't know what you think surgery is, but that's an actual surgery. So you're a liar. Thanks for helping the community move forward.
You have to be a particular age, around 16 or 17.
That's a lie. There are 13-year-old little girls having top surgery. That's a lie.
And there is a process. There is a mental process.
And there is no process. What are you talking about? There's no process. That people are actually going in and doing these things with no process. They tell their parents they're trans. Their parents take them to the surgeon and have surgery done. Wow.
You have to have a mental evaluation. There is a physical evaluation. No. There is a process there that, ironically, Republicans tend to forget. Let's be very clear. And those
I honestly don't know how I'm going to get through this, because everything that comes out of Blossom's mouth is a complete, total lie. Just so you know, I'm telling you right now, she's lying.
Those decisions should not be on the government's door. It should be in that person's personal home.
I agree. I don't think trans issues should be part of that. But the problem is that all you wingnut trans activists had made it everyone else's problem. And now they are doing this to young kids and lying to parents. So the government does have to step in now, because you're doing irreversible damage to young people.
Parents, the child, and their doctors should be making those decisions. Who are you to sit up there and put your business in their business, worrying about what they're supposed to do with their body? They should have the right to their own autonomy.
Also, Blossom isn't a parent, okay? So I don't even think Blossom has the authority to speak on this. I am a parent, and I'm also a transsexual. So I don't really think that Blossom, who transitioned, supposedly transitioned, 5 years ago, even has the authority to have these conversations about it, in my opinion.
I am a firm believer that Republicans have a basic level understanding of what trans people are in the first place. I am a firm believer that trans conservatives are an oxymoron. You know, that,
Imagine.
and I'm just going to be quite honest with you.
You can be honest all you want, Blossom, but that's rude and disrespectful. I live in a democracy where people can choose to be however they choose to be. You are such a hypocrite.
And the reason why I believe that is because Trump is not going to be here to save trans people. That Botox, that lip filler, that cosmetic surgery that a lot of trans conservatives get, Trump wants to take that away.
That is an actual lie. Okay, they fact checked her.
Trump wants to dismiss trans people. Trump wants to exterminate trans people.
Show me where he's ever said that. Show me. Show me. It's not true. Never. He's never said, I want to exterminate trans people. Or he said this: no men in women's sports. Okay. No gender ideology in the school system. How is that exterminating trans people? This is why people are pushing on us, Blossom, because first off, you're a liar. Straight out the gate, you lie. And secondly, everything you're saying is not true. He does not want to exterminate me or you. He wants to slow this down and stop people from doing irreversible things to children under the guise of gender affirming care, which we know does not work. Because let me just remind you, the Los Angeles Children's Hospital did a 9-year study funded by our government that gave $10 million. And then the doctor, okay, did not release the study because the study actually showed it does not help children.
And the government should be pushing for trans rights. We deserve access to care as trans and
We have care.
non-binary people. The trans identity is expansive. I think non-binary people can also be trans. Trans can also be intersectional. Trans people can be gay. Trans people can be straight. Trans people can identify as non-binary. And so let's just be clear that the trans experience
Let's be clear, Blossom. Non-binary is not trans.
is very expansive, and we have to be mutable to that expansiveness.
Okay. I will bring it into a philosophical level. This is a really harsh way of putting it. I don't know how I feel about that. But the more I thought about it, I was like, well, I think if you're willing to go so far to sterilize yourself, mutilate your body, chop off your and turn your vagina inside out, chop off your like, that's stemming from self-hatred, not
See, this is what people think now. They think that I have self-hatred because of people like Blossom, okay? Not understanding that this is a very, very delicate space to be in. And not just anybody should do this. And it doesn't stem from self-hate. I have to disagree with that, okay? It stems from a mental disorder that takes a lot of time and energy to figure out, can I do this? Can I live this way? Can I get back? How do you think a 10-year-old child can even make any of these choices that I have? So I understand why this person is saying this about trans people now, because we have people like Blossom and Shane and crazy, angry, weird wingnuts just representing the trans community in a way that they don't see the opposite side of people like myself saying, hey, wait a minute, I need this medication as an adult to move forward in my life. So I get why this person is saying this now.
self-love. If you love yourself, you're not going to do that. And I think there's a stigma around it. The way you're kind of getting reactive. I see your body language. I feel like it's upsetting you, but I don't think it should upset you.
I'm not upset by it. I believe that it's actually empowerment to have those surgeries as a person that I want to be. Because if I have gender dysphoria, let me align my body with how I feel, because I love myself enough to have the surgery. So let's be very clear. That's just your opinion, because
Just so you know, Blossom loves to say, let's be very clear on every other thing she says.
respectfully, are you a trans person?
I'm not.
So you're taking up space where I believe a trans woman should be here talking to me, to be quite honest, because
Oh, why, Blossom? You can't have conversation with people who are not trans? That's not true. A trans person should not be sitting across from you. This is a debate. between 60 Republicans and Democrats. Okay. That's not the title of the show. That's not what it's about. It's about somebody pushing back on you as to why the government. That's not true. I disagree with that. And here we go again. These people can't have debate with people outside of their own community because they want to keep it in an insular space that way.
I feel like we as trans women need to be having these conversations with each other. Although she could be a trans conservative and I could be a trans liberal, that's how we move the needle together to get understanding. And
You're not willing to move the needle, Blossom. So let's just be clear about that.
respectfully, you're taking up a space that should belong to a trans woman. And trans woman erasure is very real because you're participating in it right now.
Oh my God, trans woman erasure. Have you seen how many trans women, more trans women than ever have I seen in my 32 years of transition time? What the stuff that comes out of this person's mouth.
I'm not trying to attack you
I'm
in
not
any type
either.
of way. I don't want you to feel attacked.
Not either. Same.
Sometimes it feels like I'm living in this fucking psyop where it's like the government wants to see how far they can go with the people living inside America. And
Okay.
like when it comes to transgender people, I feel like it's like when you give people so much freedom, this is what happens. Like our country is just in a right now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
And trans people are suffering the most, so let's be very clear.
No, they're
Our
not.
Trans people are not suffering. You are such a victim weirdo. Let me just back you up a bit, Blossom. Sit down. No, that is not true. Trans people have more rights today than they ever have. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm 32 years into this space and I see so much. You can get hormones, you can get surgery, you can have your identification changed, you can walk into the woman's bathroom. There's so many things you can do. You are a liar.
rights are being taken away at
What
such
rights?
alarming rates.
What rights are taken away?
Our rights to gender affirming care. Our rights to
You have gender affirming care.
just basically exist in this country.
Like as an adult, like when you're 18, it
All
gets taken away from you.
trans people, trans youth are having to fight for their rights when they're nothing more than
Trans,
kids.
exactly. They're
They are
nothing more than
kids.
kids.
They
There is no such thing as trans youth. Blossom, quit pushing that ideology and that narrative. It's disgusting.
should be children. They should not be at the
They should be
government level
children.
trying to fight for their basic rights just to exist. And
What is a basic right to exist? These kids can call themselves whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. They can dress however they want. I don't understand where they don't have the rights. I would really like to know. These kids my kid goes to a school where there's tons of these trans non-binary kids. Okay. So what do you're, like I said before, Blossom isn't even a parent. She doesn't understand what these kids have.
And you're part of the party, your party in particular,
Your party.
is the root cause of the problem, to be quite honest
Nope,
with you.
not
At
true.
least with Kamala Harris,
What
she's
problem?
willing to move the needle forward. At least with Kamala Harris, she knows there's work to do. At least with Kamala Harris, she helped pass legislation for trans people who are in prison to be able to get gender affirming care, which
Oh, now it comes out. Oh, Blossom wants people in prison. You mean men in women's prison to get gender affirming care? Yet, as we know, actual real trans people don't want to be put in the women's prison. They want to stay in the men's prison, just so you know. Okay. So these are fake trans women who want to go to the women's prison where there's a ton of essay happening on these women, by the way, Blossom. So why don't you talk real time here?
My middle ground, I guess, would be I don't think minors should have any access whatsoever to gender affirming care. And I put quotations around it because this is new. Like it hasn't existed that long. And it's just like kind of weird.
my middle ground statement is trans kids are not having surgeries. I'm sorry, they're just not. That's where I stand firmly.
I think they should be treated for mental illness.
Well,
Okay.
that's too low vibrational for me. So like
I don't
I said,
think
I
it
don't.
is.
What is low vibrational? That's a way of saying I have no actual real comeback for you. So I'm going to use these weird words to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Low vibrational. So I'm going to stop there because whatever. I'm just going to say Blossom's never willing to find middle ground ever. He, whatever, thinks they're always right, thinks that what they have is all of these facts. When Blossom got nailed on fact checking every time, Blossom is making stuff up. All of the stuff Blossom just said is not true. And so I'm going to leave you with this. This is why This is why people are pushing back on trans stuff. And this is why it's become a political issue, because people like Blossom, who represent the trans community, are continually lying about what it means to be trans, are continually pushing these ideas that no one's getting their health care and everyone's gonna like die if they don't get it, which is all completely. As somebody who did this a long time ago, I'm telling you that there are a lot of rights that we have now that many of us fought for to get here, and that we're going to lose because people like Blossom have become the representation of the so-called community. Thanks so much for watching, subscribing, liking, comment, because I love your comments. They're always so amazing. And with that, you guys have an awesome, beautiful day, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.